Hello everybody, I am talking to you from the past, from 1:36 on the 7th of February 2014 to be precise. And the reason I bring this up is because I've decided to do a video about time travel, and people think about time travel in a very physical way, but I think it can be a very mental thing as well, theoretical, although you can't really come back here and tell me to do a different video, because you wouldn't have seen the video I made to come back and tell me to do a different one. You see, paradoxes. Let's start up with the science of time travel. Actually, let's not talk about the science of time travel, because there is a lot of science to time travel. It's all about time is relative. You know that time is relative when you say that time moves faster or slower depending on what you do. Einstein had a theory, you stick a twin in a spacecraft. You can go and look that up online if you want to know more about that. And then there's things about wormholes and time, light bending, time bending. Oh yeah, you can tell I'm really up on my time travel theory. Yeah, I do know some sciencey stuff, but it's just a bit boring. So the science of time travel basically is that time travel could, theoretically it could happen. But the more interesting thing about time travel is the philosophical ideas, is whether, if time travel did exist, we should do it. Well, people like to talk about time travel because it's kind of this romantic idea that you could go back and, you could take away all the dark memories. The problem is, with the idea of time travel, if you could go back and change everything, when does it stop? You go back and keep changing things and changing little things and bigger things, and there would be the butterfly effect, all the different things you would affect yourself, not only your life but other people's lives. And even if you could go back and undo all those bad things, all those humiliating things, should you really? Because did they not make you a better person? Did they not kind of mould you into the person you are now? That's what I kind of like about... I do like too many TV shows and films about time travel. In China, they've banned now the films, and I guess probably TV shows and literature, about time travel, because they don't want to put out this idea that you should be look at what's wrong with the world now and think I could go back and change that. And there are lots of brilliant films that Chinese people are missing out on, like Back to the Future. Can you imagine? I've never seen Back to the Future. The Time Machine, the 1960 version of The Time Machine with Rod Taylor, which is a brilliant film. And the Looper brings up those interesting ideas of, if you could go back and travel back in time, when does it end? Because you go back and you change something, and inevitably there's going to be a ramification to something else. You'd have to keep covering yourself. I really liked, it's just come out on DVD, About Time. What I loved about Time, if you haven't seen it, out on DVD now, you should go and see it, is that this idea that you could go back. You don't think about the fact that just because you go back and you suddenly had the courage, or you had this extra information and you could make everything better for yourself, you don't think about other people, what other people think of you. Or, it's one thing if you can go back in time and finally tell that person that you were crazy about them, but what if they weren't crazy about you? So now, instead of like, oh, I will never know, you do know now, and you're pretty hurt about it. Even if you look outside your own life, people talk a lot about time travelling back to these romantic periods. I would love to have seen like America in the 1960s, or like Victorian Britain in the Industrial Revolution. But the fact is, I wouldn't want to go back, because I am a woman, and you go back and things get worse for you. All the diseases you'd get, and even if you were lucky enough not to break any bones or try to have any like barber surgeons at you or something. What about childbirth? Oh my god. Oh my god, the childbirth. And it's not worth thinking about. Ultimately, if I had the choice, say I could time travel right now, I wouldn't go back and change anything. No, looking back, no. I wouldn't go back and change things. And I wouldn't want to go back and live in a different time, because now is good, and now is my fight. People like to go back and think of themselves as with the suffragettes, or in, I study a lot about World War I and World War II, but the fact is my life is now, my fight is now. And I'm okay with that.